Hello everyone, thanks for tuning in to today's video. So around halfway through March, and it's been quite an interesting month so far. We started off with a lot of rain through the first week. Of course, had that deluge last week. Now high pressure's built in, and that's going to be staying with us for the foreseeable future, certainly for the next week or so. We're going to have a look at the CFS-V2 and the Beijing Climate Centre models today to extend through the rest of March and going into the start of April, see what they're predicting in terms of weather for the coming month. So that's going to be what we're looking at today. Before I get on with that, though, just to say about the ads at Gazworthy, there's links to articles on all the pages. Have a browse through the widgets and click through the links if there's any articles that you're interested in. Thanks very much for doing that. There's video ads on most pages. They open up the content when you watch them, they'll close back up again, and it's helping to pay for the website. So we're going to start off with CFS-V2, then have a look at the Beijing Climate Centre. We're going to start off with the 500 millibar height anomalies, broken down into weekly periods. The first weekly period will be taking us through the week that we're in, the 14th through to the 20th of March. As you know with these charts, red, yellow, bright colours extrapolate to high pressure, greens and blue extrapolates to low pressure. So for the coming week, what we find is that we've got a ridge of high pressure more or less sitting right over the top of the country. Actually, we've got a big ridge here in through the UK. And generally a little bit to the north. Trough of low pressure is down to the south, and it means that the flow is going around that ridge, something like that. The trough is to the northeast and to the south and to the southwest of the country as well. That's a lot of settled weather coming up for the coming week. I mean, that's a big old ridge there sitting around the UK, so you're going to have a lot of dry weather with that one. Now, as we go into week two, there's a very big change, and this is running up towards Easter, of course. We started the Easter updates last night, and the first update was a pretty cool and unsettled Easter weekend. This is going up to the Easter weekend, probably up to Easter Sunday, actually, 27th of March. This is from the 21st through to 27th of March. And you see that ridge has gone and would replace it with a really deep trough there through the country. And it means that the flow is going rather like that. So, I mean, that's a very unsettled looking signal. It's cool, it would be wet, could be quite a lot of heavy rain coming in with that. And with this ridge going up towards Greenland, we're probably entrenching quite a lot of cold air into that trough of low pressure as well. So very unsettled and cool conditions there for the second week, week two of the period. Week three continues very unsettled with a trough of low pressure again, more or less right over top of the country. Ridge is centred around Greenland, and the trough is going like that. So again, it's another unsettled one with low pressure around the country, bringing showers or longer spells of rain. That's from the 28th of March through to the 3rd of April. So the start of next month looking really unsettled on this one too. And then finally, week four, which is the 4th through to the 10th of April, shows a trough of low pressure in across Scandinavia. And it's still looking unsettled, isn't it? With a ridge here out around Greenland and go down into the central Atlantic. So it's still very unsettled and probably very cool as well, with the winds coming down from the north between the ridge here and the trough here. We're opening the door to northerly winds, so cool and unsettled conditions taking us through the early part of April. Let's have a look at the temperature anomalies. The week one temperature anomaly, this is under that ridge of high pressure, shows temperatures generally a little bit below average, interestingly. It's warmer than average for Scotland, cooler than average for England, and the reason is probably that we're bringing in easterly winds. Again, you see cooler than average across many parts of Central Europe. So if the flow is coming in from the east, we're likely to be dragging in cool air onto that eastern side of the country. Week two is also looking cooler than average. This is the 21st to 27th of March, with temperatures coming out below average there. Week three, unsettled conditions through week two and week three, and week three actually goes a little bit milder than average down in the south, maybe just picking up more of a southwesterly as opposed to northwesterly influence. Week four, though, that looks cool, cooler than average conditions from the 4th through to the 10th of April. So really quite a cool month coming up if we take these charts at face value. Precipitation anomalies from CFS-V2 shows that we're generally above average for week one, 14th through to 20th of March. Week 2 comes out. Well, it's a bit interesting actually. Week 2 comes out a bit wetter than average in the north, a little bit drier than average elsewhere. And this is as that trough is sinking in across the country. So I would have thought that would be a wetter week than that is suggesting. Week 3, with a trough of low pressure going around the country, looks significantly wetter than average. And then week 4, this is as we have the ridge out to west of a trough to the east. That goes nearer normal with the precipitation then. So overall, it is a cool and fairly unsettled period coming up from the CFS V2, if these charts are right. Let's have a look at Beijing Climate Centre. These are 500 millibar heights broken down into 10-day periods. The first 10-day period will take us from the 16th through to the 25th of March. And we find a ridge of high pressure, again, very similar to the CFS V2, ridge of high pressure sitting to the north, trough of low pressure down to the southwest, and the flow probably coming in from the east. So that 10-day period from the 16th to 25th of March, that looks about in line with the CFS V2. We go through to the next 10-day period, and again, very similar to CFS V2 in that there's a complete flip and a deep trough of low pressure sets up around the UK, so it turns very unsettled, probably with the flow going something like that. So much more unsettled for the very end of March into the start of April. That's the 26th of March through to the 4th of April. And then the third weekly period looks like this, with the trough still centred over the country and going more to the east as well, ridge out to the northwest, and it means that the door is open to pretty cool northerly, northwesterly influences. So temperature anomalies for the coming month looks like this. This is the first 10-day period, the 16th to 25th of March. That comes out with above average temperatures, and probably about what you'd expect with a ridge of high pressure at this time of year, though we could get some cold nights. The next 10-day period, the end of March into the start of April, 26th of March to the 4th of April, that comes out near normal and hints at going a bit cold on average, especially in the north and west. And then the final 10-day period from the 5th through to the 14th of April, that one is looking cooler than average. So a drop in the temperature anomalies as we're going along, starting off a bit above average, but generally going cool to below average at the end of March and into April. The rainfall looks like this. The coming 10-day period, bit dry on average in the north, still a little bit wetter than average in the south. I'm not sure about that. I think all places should be dry on average over the next 10 days. However, we go through to the second 10-day period, the 26th of March to the 4th of April, turns wetter than average, and then we keep it wetter than average from the 5th of April through to the 14th of April. So it looks like a pretty grim April, actually. Certainly the first half, we can't say what the second half is doing, but the first half looks really quite cool, very cool, and also unsettled as well, with above average rainfall. So, well, the message from both CFS V2 and Beijing Climate Centre is enjoy the ridge as we've got this week and lasting into the weekend. If these models are right, it's not set to last. As we run up towards Easter, we're going to see a big flip around, turns much more unsettled for the final week or so of March, and then that carries us through into the start of April with wet and cool conditions likely into the middle month of the spring. All very speculative, of course, not to be relied upon. We'll see whether the shorter range models, the GFS, the ECM and the GEM, when we monitor them in our week to 10-day updates over the next few days, we'll see whether they pick up on these trends from the CFS and Beijing Climate Centres. Right, that's all for now. Thanks for watching.